don't know if the 6'2" and under guard is at a premium no more as a starter.
I think we're going to see Bronny in college taking it back to him. I'm excited to see that.
I would love to see Bronny in college instead of going the other route.
Yeah, disappearing for years.
Yeah, disappearing basically.
The NBA has always thrived on drama, but this situation feels different because it involves both a father and his son at the same time. Bronny James is already facing enormous expectations as the son of LeBron James, while the Lakers remain under the most intense spotlight in basketball. Then Kevin Durant added even more intrigue by posting a cryptic message just as criticism surrounding Bronny began heating up again. Fans immediately started connecting the dots because the timing seemed impossible to ignore. And whenever KD shares something vague online, people rarely see it as a random post, they assume there's a deeper meaning behind it. As soon as the message went viral, social media erupted with speculation. Some believed Durant was standing up for Bronny, while others thought he was subtly criticizing the Lakers organization. There were even fans who interpreted it as an indirect message aimed at LeBron himself. That's what makes Durant's posts so fascinating. He rarely clarifies exactly what he means. Instead, he allows the internet to fill in the blanks and create its own story. The debate intensified after Bronny faced another round of criticism during off-season conversations and media discussions. Every performance is dissected as if he's already expected to be an NBA star. A single bad game becomes a major headline, and one missed shot is treated as evidence that he doesn't belong in the league. The truth is that very few rookies have ever dealt with this level of scrutiny. Bronny is still early in his development, yet the basketball world analyzes his future almost every day. The Lakers understood this attention would come the moment they drafted him. The NBA also knew the spotlight would grow once LeBron openly expressed his desire to play alongside his son. But anticipating the pressure and actually enduring it are two completely different challenges.
And so for him to have all of this scrutiny and be in the spotlight and be LeBron's son, it's mental toughness for him to go out there and not only perform, but to perform well.
Then Kevin Durant inserted himself into the discussion without ever directly addressing it. That's what immediately grabbed everyone's attention. KD shared a cryptic post that fans quickly linked to the growing criticism surrounding Bronny. He never mentioned Bronny by name, but the timing was hard for anyone to overlook. Almost instantly, people began reflecting on Durant's own journey through the NBA. They remembered the massive expectations he carried entering the league as a young star. They remembered the criticism and scrutiny he faced throughout his time in Oklahoma City, Golden State, Brooklyn, and Phoenix. Durant understands something that many people fail to recognize. Once the media creates a narrative around you, every mistake gets used to reinforce that story. That's why this conversation quickly became about more than just Bronny James. Fans started arguing over whether Durant was highlighting the darker side of today's NBA culture. Bronny isn't being evaluated like a typical rookie, he's being evaluated as a symbol. Some fans root against him because they're tired of seeing LeBron dominate the spotlight, while others defend him at every turn because of their support for LeBron. In the middle of all that, Bronny is simply trying to establish his own identity and career while the internet turns every performance into a debate about pressure, legacy, and nepotism. Durant has witnessed this pattern play out across the league for years, which is why many believed his message carried a deeper meaning than it first appeared.
I think he'll use another year of college and see where he at.
Yeah. That father-son legacy in the NBA.
Crazy.
Man.
Here's what many people aren't discussing. The pressure Bronny faces goes far beyond basketball. It's a mental challenge as much as a physical one. Every time he steps onto a court, people already have opinions about him before the opening tip. Most rookies are allowed to go through growing pains without attracting major attention. Most young players can endure rough stretches without becoming the topic of national sports debates for days at a time. Bronny doesn't have that privilege. And Kevin Durant understands that reality better than most because he spent years dealing with relentless criticism despite producing elite numbers throughout his career. People labeled him soft for joining Golden State. They constantly questioned his leadership and legacy. Yet through every controversy, Durant continued performing at an elite level and found ways to block out the noise. The situation becomes even more complicated because the Lakers operate under a microscope unlike any other franchise. In Los Angeles, a couple of disappointing games can suddenly feel like a full-blown crisis. Add LeBron James to the equation, add Bronny too. The story and every discussion quickly becomes driven by emotion rather than reason. Some critics insist Bronny's opportunity exists because of his father's influence. Others argue that he still worked for his chance through years of development while carrying a level of scrutiny that most young athletes never experience. Durant didn't need a lengthy explanation because many people already understood the point being made. Modern NBA culture has become obsessed with instant reactions. Players are often judged before they've had enough time to grow, improve, or prove themselves. And Bronny's situation may be one of the clearest examples of that reality.
He was going to be a Laker no matter what. This was more about he wants his name called. His fucking father is the face of the team. He was going to be on that team, like it or not.
Kevin Durant has never had a simple relationship with public opinion. That's exactly why his comments resonated with so many people. KD has never fit the mold of the polished, corporate superstar. He engages with fans, responds to criticism, and rarely hides how he feels. At times that approach has hurt his image, but it has also made him seem more relatable than many athletes. Because fans know criticism affects him, any cryptic message he posts during a controversy feels genuine rather than manufactured. It feels like a veteran recognizing a younger player entering one of the toughest situations imaginable. This is often where young players run into trouble. They become so focused on silencing critics that they stop developing naturally. The constant noise leads them to overthink every decision. Shots get forced, instincts disappear, and confidence begins to fade because they're trying to prove themselves on every possession. The NBA is full of talented prospects whose careers never matched expectations because the pressure became overwhelming. And Bronny's situation is unlike almost anything we've seen from a second-round pick. Most players selected in that range receive little national attention. Bronny becomes a trending topic after preseason games. The remarkable part is that LeBron likely anticipated much of this from the beginning. Few athletes understand media narratives better than he does. He knew that the moment Bronny joined the Lakers, every play, quote, and performance would become a story. Still, even LeBron may not have expected the criticism to reach this level. Some fans openly root against Bronny because they believe his struggles would somehow reflect on LeBron's legacy. That illustrates just how emotional sports culture has become. Durant has watched basketball discussions evolve beyond basketball itself for years. When fans began dissecting his message, another layer of meaning emerged. Some believed he wasn't simply defending Bronny but reflecting on his own experiences as well. After all, few superstars understand what it's like to be constantly misunderstood more than Kevin Durant. No matter how many points he scores or how impressive his resume becomes, new debates always seem to follow him. The standards constantly shift. When he won championships with Golden State, critics dismissed them. When he continued producing at an elite level late in his career, many still demanded more. Living in that environment can affect any athlete mentally. The controversy also reignited the ongoing debate surrounding nepotism in sports. Critics argued that Bronny's last name helped create opportunities unavailable to many others. Supporters countered that family connections have always existed in professional sports and that Bronny still has to earn his place on the court. There is some truth in both arguments. LeBron's influence undoubtedly opened doors, but opportunity alone does not guarantee success. Many players receive chances. Very few survive and thrive in the NBA without genuine talent. That's something Bronny still has time to prove. The situation becomes even more complicated because media attention feeds itself. Once a story begins generating engagement, it keeps growing. Sports debate shows are built around attention, not necessarily fairness. Bronny James attracts attention. LeBron James attracts attention. Kevin Durant attracts attention. When all three names become part of the same discussion, the story expands far beyond basketball. Everyone interpreted Durant's message through their own perspective. Interestingly, many former NBA players reacted differently than fans online. Former players often showed empathy because they understand the realities of development and pressure. They know confidence can disappear quickly if expectations become overwhelming. Fans, on the other hand, often demand instant results. A rookie struggles for a few games, and suddenly labels like bust start appearing before the player has even had a chance to grow. Durant's own career helps explain why his words carried so much weight. He is widely considered one of the greatest scorers the game has ever seen, yet public opinion about him can shift dramatically from week to week. That's why many viewed his message as more than simple support. It felt like advice from someone who understands the dangers of chasing approval. Perhaps the real message was simple. Don't lose yourself trying to satisfy expectations that can never be fully satisfied. Another reason the story exploded is because it involves the Lakers. No franchise amplifies drama quite like Los Angeles. Every practice clip becomes a headline. Every quote gets analyzed. Every reaction on the bench becomes content for social media. If Bronny played elsewhere, the attention would already be significant because of LeBron. With the Lakers, it becomes overwhelming. The controversy also caused fans to revisit some of Durant's own public battles, including his famous burner account saga and online exchanges with critics. Ironically, those moments may make younger players trust him more. Durant doesn't pretend criticism has no impact on him. He doesn't try to present a flawless image. In an era where athletes are often expected to appear perfect, that honesty stands out. Bronny's situation also highlights a larger issue in modern basketball discourse. Patience has become increasingly rare. Social media rewards extreme opinions rather than measured analysis. Few people gain attention by saying a young player needs time to develop. Declaring someone overrated or labeling them a failure generates far more engagement. As a result, narratives spiral out of control at incredible speed. One bad game becomes evidence of disaster, while one highlight becomes proof of superstardom. The middle ground often disappears entirely. At the same time, there is another reality people can't ignore. Bronny chose this path. He understood that playing for the Lakers and potentially sharing the court with his father would create enormous attention.